Yeah, they have a real strength in depth, don't they? Very large crew, very large squad for them to choose from that's growing all the time. And I think I heard Richard Phelps as the umpire getting them ready there, who himself has a history and a connection with Thames Rowing Club going back a long, long way, although he will, of course, be the perfect impartial umpire for this race.
Freddie Bryce there, still with his hand up as he takes one final look before the start towards his opponents in the Thames Rowing Club B8 as they get underway here in the Wargrave Challenge Cup. Thames Rowing Club B on the left, Upper Thames A on the right, and Upper Thames, well, I'm sure they'll be able to hear the cheers from Reminen Club all the way from here.
So Upper Thames get a real boost, don't they, at that part of the course. But look at this shot now of Thames, very focused, very quick to get onto the stroke, apply the power. They're attacking this. There's a lot of aggression in this crew. They want to try and get out and clear and see if they can get an advantage early. But they are against the crew from Upper Thames that are coached by Mark Banks, and there is an incredibly experienced coach who's coached crews at international level, Leander, for a long time. So he will know all the tricks and the best tactics to give his crew from Upper Thames the best chance. We have a lovely shot of them there, working well, really kind of good unison, good rhythm, but perhaps lacking a little bit of the power that we saw in that Thames crew at the start.
Yeah, well, Upper Thames were part of a hugely competitive race yesterday, the penultimate race of the day, Kath, where they rode through on the line to take victory against Nottingham Rowing Club. It was one of the most breathtaking races of the day, and that takes quite a lot of effort and quite a lot of gusto to be able to get yourself through that round. And so having been matched up against Thames today, I do wonder, you know, it's quick recovery from last race of the day essentially through to today.
That's definitely a challenge, and that depends on the depth and extent of your winter training then, of how quick you are to recover and apply the same power. But definitely they'll have given absolutely everything. They'll have kitchen sinked to get through that. And then it's a mental challenge often to refresh, clean slate, go again. And you know, they're being asked a lot of questions very early on by this strong Thames B8.
And look at that, the blade work there from the red, white and black of Thames Rowing Club. And often, you know, if you're new to rowing, you know, there are quite big things that are very obvious to people that don't row. And blade work is one of those things that you can spot straight away if someone's not in time, if someone's, you know, slightly early, slightly late, making big splashes. And you know, looking at this crew, none of that, you know, very well placed, very well drilled. And you can just see how sharp and in time they are there on the right-hand side.
Absolutely. You can see the back of Eve Carrow there, who comes from a wonderful rowing family with her. She's the niece of Ruth Kennedy, who rowed for Cambridge, and Rebecca Carrow, who's been in this commentary box before now as well. So continuing the tradition there in the bow seat of the Thames crew, and who is a virologist at the Francis Crick Institute.
So Upper Thames on your screen now. We've got Rachel Burrows in the stroke seat. Only started rowing in 2017, so 6 years under the belt. Home international representation as well as part of those 6 years of rowing. And backed up by another 7 women who will be trying to get into earshot of their home club, which is, I was about to say just around the corner, but it's a very straight course here in Henley on Thames, so just up the river.
We'll see what that Upper Thames Roar can do for them in the middle of the course. But really strong rowing at the moment from Thames. Upper Thames are hanging in there. They're not out of it yet, and they will have a big plan around that push at Upper Thames. But of course, that won't come as a surprise to the Thames crew. They'll be ready for that. They'll have that factored into their plan as well.
Well, Thames will get their own roar, of course, because the Reminen Club, which is sort of constituent of some of the founding members of those clubs from along the Thames stretch. Thames Club is a part, you know, Thames Rowing Club is a part of that. So all of the members of Thames Rowing Club get the opportunity to get tickets to that enclosure along the course, which sits just beyond halfway. And often you can hear when a Reminen Club crew is coming past, because the noise is absolutely astronomical.
So great to see there the really well set up Anna Terry and Hannah Roberts in the Thames crew. They're working hard for this. They're not moving away any further, and I don't know if Upper Thames will get any sniff of that. But great to see Hannah Roberts back after several years away from rowing. She rowed many years at Cambridge, was the president at Cambridge, you know, in 2016, and yeah, I think they're going to feel confident seeing the back. Here we go now, past Upper Thames. Let's see if they can lift them.
Yeah, that's their rowing club there, just in the top left-hand side of the shot that we're rowing past, and then the Remenham club that we've talked about, that big white tent and the building behind it. That's where you'll see all the Thames Rowing Club members, and I think Upper Thames perhaps have just closed the gap a little bit. It was a length and a half, and I think they've sort of slowly by slowly, centimetre by centimetre, said, do you know what, no thank you. We'll take that bit of clear water back and we want overlap.
It's looking lively. I say they've sort of definitely lifted the rate of people too, and they've got some speed for that for sure. I think there's a point there where it really looked as if the crews were, you know, at the same speed, or if anything, Upper Thames were clawing a bit back. I mean, Thames have still got that advantage. They can see them, and I don't think they'll be caught napping. But I'd say at the moment the crews are moving at a really similar speed.
And they look really relaxed in their face. There's no kind of, you know, facial expressions that would suggest that they are in huge amounts of pain as we enter the final stages of the race. And that takes some practice, doesn't it? Staying calm and relaxed and keeping that face nice and cool and calm.
Because they will be in pain, and Upper Thames are going to have to do more. I think they have got themselves closer. I don't know if there's any overlap yet. Not quite, but they've got to find a lot more to get through this Thames crew.
Well, they've just passed the mile signal now, and I think somewhat closer. But Thames B here are the ones that are going to have to respond. They're currently in the hot seat. They've got the leads, and they want to prevent that row through from happening in the final few strokes. But this crew here, constituent of Eve Carron, the bow seat, as we've said, that the back of the black lycra there on the right-hand side, a winner of the Copus Cup back in 2022 for Henley Women's Regatta, and is going to be the first person to cross the line if they can continue this effort.
Yeah, I think they've got it well in control there. They've always had more power than Upper Thames down the course, but I have to say Upper Thames have been like terriers all the way to hang on and not allow Thames to get, you know, multiple lengths at all. They've been really tenacious through the middle.
Yeah, they are just pestering Thames Rowing Club the whole way down this course, and they've forced Thames to have to do something in these final few strokes, which they won't want to do. They'll want to save energy, and that's exactly what they'll have gone out to do, press them the whole way, Cam.
Yeah, great job, Upper Thames. They've taken it to them, narrowed it to a length or so, but definitely the winter training programme that they cover a lot of mileage in those Thames squads, and that is paying off for them.
Well, you can just see the Thames Rowing Club B. This is their second crew in the event. The B crew will win out over Upper Thames Rowing Club by less than a length. That was a great build back from Upper Thames Rowing Club A. You saw the gap of clear water that they had at halfway, and they clawed that back slowly. A great race there from Upper Thames. And that can be really difficult to do, Catherine, when you can't see the crew that's ahead of you. Upper Thames have had a lot of mental strength there to push themselves hard to get that overlap.
Yeah, I think Freddie Bryce did a great job coxing them there. I think he got a lot out of that crew. They gave their all, and you could see the Thames crew across the line. They had to go pretty hard all the way to secure that. But when you have your B crew through to the quarterfinals, that shows the strength and depth for Thames women's squad.